Say yes to new beginnings.
Yes.
Say yes to new standards of excellence.
Yes.
Say yes to engaging reportage with a difference.
Yes.
Introducing Yes International Magazine. The time to say yes to your dreams and aspirations is here.
Wow, Uncle.
What happened?
I don't know. We also trying to get it sorted out from our own end here. So nice to see you, Uncle B.
Yeah, the same here. How are you?
I'm fine, thank you, sir. You're looking. I'm looking for the right word. You're looking wondrous, and
How are you?
yes, Uncle B. You know, I would want us to start on a special note. You know, being that you speak the three major Nigerian languages, I would like you to first say hello to all those who are joining us tonight in Igbo, in Yoruba, and in Hausa, before we now start firing the questions.
Okay. Igbo ndị njem ọnụ ndị Igbo ka m ga-ebu ụzọ kene. Ha nwa bụ ndị Zoom nnọọ a na-ekwu okwu ihe ọkọtụkwa aka a ga-ede na nke maka na anyị na mma n'oge abụrụzi enyi ọ ka kene nnọọ wee ka unu ma nọdụkwa mma Chukwu ka a ga na-ekene ka ọ wee na-aga because Nigeria nke anyị nwekwa Nigeria na-ekwe na ka onye bute nkewa Nigeria wannan kasa mu ne duk koyinan da muka kalla wannan shirin daga duk duniya musamman man arewacin Nigeria yaya muke ni ne ɗanku na Kano ga ni ga Kano saboda haka wannan shirin na musamman ne fa to ga shi nan shi duk wa zai ce bai san a zuwa rinda ba duk duniya ma inda wannan aiki tare muke yi and ba ko wala na na tuma ni be Nigeria itiwa ni o e ba mu dani gbogbo wa gbé Nigeria bí ẹyin kwa onu Nigeria akunu puti eno ko na konye bula kwako ele da gbé Nigeria bí ẹyin mojo ko fo o de ni fo abolo mo je kere ko fo Amen. We talk there, we say this Nigeria that we get make nobody come tell us story. Now, all of us must work with this Nigeria there as a day. And I'm out with that.
Yes,
thank you very much.
Okay. I would like to ask my first question. First, what got you interested in broadcasting?
Broadcasting, I've said this many times, but I mean, for the benefit of those who might have not heard me say so, I take you back to my secondary school days. That's it will be 51 years, actually 50 years next year that I left secondary school. That's Kiriji Memorial College in Ekwajo. That's in Osun State. And my favorite pastime then was, do I call it pastime or vocation or whatever, was to listen to the radio's vision. You hear the likes of Iken and Daguba on the news in those days, and of course, Ishola Follow, the great football commentator. And when I heard the way that the voices were booming, I said, man, I can give this a try. And that's what inspired me to go into it. And I must thank my principal of Blessed Memories, Deacon Olagunju, who encouraged me. You would believe that the man agreed for me to go about collecting news, reading it actually to an assembly of about 500 people on a daily basis. I'll go collect news. Yes, as small as I was then, but he noticed that I had this, I was inspired to do it, and he encouraged me to do that. And you know, the other side was footballing. I was also a commentator. First of all, I like football, and no match get played without me coming to do something like mock football commentaries. Well, all the things I might have had from the likes of Bisi Olatilo, I to put all of that into practice. So that's how it all started, and I followed it up. And the very first place that I built it was Radio OYO in Ibadan in those days, 75 actually. And the likes of, you know, Joe Adegbite, Alex Kondi of Blessed Memories, and a very long list actually, who were the ones that helped to give it some kind of structure in those days. And I'm happy that I'm alive and still in this same profession today. So then I moved up to Lagos because I didn't want to be a local champion. I wanted to be an international, a national star, then international. So that's the projection and the trajectory of my broadcasting journey.
Wow. Yes, we'll still talk about your movement to Lagos, but we'll be taking them one after the other. Now, Uncle B, I want to recollect the most memorable thing that happened on the first day or first time you went on air.
First time I went on air, and that would be Broadcasting Corporation of Oyo State in 1975. Definitely you would have some kind of fright and all that, goose pimples, fright and the rest of it. But I would like to thank the likes of, I mentioned him earlier, you know, Joe Adegbite and Alex. They were the ones giving me all the courage that I needed them because I met them on the job. And, you know, not too long, you know, after just trying for some time, I became used to it. And I began to also develop a lot of courage. They were the ones that actually helped to ignite that in me. And I wouldn't forget that at all. Yes.
Wow.
But I did a lot of things about the news. Well, go ahead.
Okay. Okay. All right. Now, for one to have a taste of success in broadcasting, what must the person do?
I think that
Primrose, I can see you. Thank you so much. Primrose, go.
I must say that anyone who has the luck, the distinct luck of finding him or herself in broadcasting, is like you're in a journey of life to get a wholesome being. You're trained in many aspects of life, because in broadcasting, this very popular refrain that you must be able to, you know, to dominate your environment. To be able to dominate your environment, what it means is that you must be able to, you must have the knack to be able to do almost everything, and that will push you to want to be at your best at all times. In fact, you should know a bit about everything, and that also makes you very ready to take charge in all aspects of life. So that's one very special privilege that broadcasters have. I must thank that I find myself in this business today. Wow. 67, 46 years in this business. It's like I'm just starting. Never ever get. There's none of my program that I will not sit down and watch. Whether the news or whatever it is, I will sit down and watch it. As I was just telling a few people a while ago, I say in broadcasting, there's never the best. The last thing would be it can get better. And if you look at it properly, you'll find areas where you have to touch up and even get it better and so on. That's just like life itself. So broadcasting is a life, is a place where you take your lessons in life, in all aspects. Yes, if you approach it properly, you'll be the better for it. That's the kind of blessing that I preach all the time. Yeah.
I love that. Ajayi Ayodotu, thanks so much for joining us. Primrose Dodo, thanks so much for joining us. Hezekiah Tanya, thanks so much for joining us. Uncle Steve Mosu, thanks so much for joining us. I can see you.
I was watching the launch of your Express newspaper on our channel just 2 days ago. And it was the former DJ of NBC that gave the special talk on that occasion. Kau. I just watched it on my platform just 2 days ago.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir.
Doing very well.
Yeah, they are. Yeye Oluwatosin, thanks so much for joining us. Now, Uncle B, what is the greatest thing that broadcasting has done for you?
Wow. Is a door opener for me. There's no door that I've ever knocked and not been giving all the attention that I require. Much more than I even think. And I hope that the younger ones are also taking all of this in and soaking it and processing it. That's something you cannot do without in life. And this comes to play each time I have a few things to do, as you must have noticed yourself. So broadcasting is about money, is about building on friendship. And that's one thing that I must congratulate Azu Arinze for. That's plays out each time you have your event. Like when you launched 2 books recently, everybody that spoke said so that you know how to nurture friendship. You put a lot of investment in friendship, which is good.
Thank you.
So that's what you gain if you do that too. You'll find no door too hard to knock, and your goodwill will be incomparable because you have invested so much. Yes.
Thank you, sir. Arabis Babe, thanks so much for joining us. It's a tongue twisting name. Akim Bule Folake, thanks so much for joining us. Yeah. Uncle B, what has broadcasting not done for you?
What has broadcasting not done for me?
Yes. What would you have wanted it to do for you that it hasn't done?
Okay, well, I was going to say there's nothing, but I remember that what it should have done for me much earlier than now is to give me my own television or radio platform, because I'm a professional when it comes to that. But we're in a climate where less emphasis is placed on the importance of professionals in different aspects. I mean, for God's sake, if you give a professional like me in a radio or television station, you know that for God's sake, I will put in all my efforts to make it the very best. You don't need to be telling me about things to do. I know what not to say. I mean, broadcasting has this general refrain: if you're in doubt, leave out. I wouldn't go on air and say anything without having gone through it, without having done my due diligence on it. So I'm hoping that we've applied for the radio and television station. I'm hoping that the next batch will be lucky to be counted amongst them. But it would have come a lot longer than now, yeah.
Amen.
So that's the missing link. That's the missing link. That's what broadcasting has done for me, which it should have done for me much earlier. But if it does it now, thank God.
It will still happen. It will still happen. Yes, Uncle B. Now, what do you like most about being a broadcaster?
What I like most about being a broadcaster, for instance, the little one of our presenters here. She's one that does her own Instagram live. She had one actor, Kogi State Don actor, born actor, whom she interviewed just some hours ago. And the question she asked the young man was, what has acting done for you? And the man said, the appreciation that he gets everywhere he goes. He's loved by everybody. They throw a lot of love at him. People warm up to him. That's the same way here. There's nowhere that I go, people receive me as if, I was telling somebody that one man kept calling me. I said, I'll not be governor, but I'll not get contract now. I said, no, I like what you are doing. Congratulations. I want to be like you. I said, well, this is our home. He said, money no day there, but he said, the one way they didn't like him. We have a lot of love. Oh, my brother. Also, we have a lot of love. People want to be very close to you. They want to be friends with you. And I must thank God for the kind of love that people shower towards us. That's the kind of award we get every day. People, why haven't you been given a national award? I said, no, the award I get, this one self-pass award now. Those who don't know you, you've not met them before, they just see you and they start warming up to you. Some will even take you back to your days when you're reading the news in the 70s and all that. They tell you your style. A gentleman came here. He's the one that actually, by the way, does all our voiceovers now. So the commentary of the Bisi Olatilo show that you hear. Anything, there's the guy. The guy is called Lekon Ahmed. He came here on his own and said he's been mimicking me. He's like, he just put it in the joking with that. Right from his mother's tummy, he's been learning how to talk like me. And then he just came and said, he fetched me out, searched me out, and came here and said, even if I wasn't going to pay him, let me just give him the chance because he has loved me all along. And he's happy that he's even meeting me body and flesh. So I gave him the opportunity. And I said, no, we're going to be able to monetize that to some extent. We can't do everything for free. It doesn't work like that. So it's a young man that is working with us now. So there's a lot of love for us in this business.
Oh, okay.
There's a lot of love.
Wow. My wife just joined. Edith Azarunze. Thanks so much for joining us. Thanks so much. You hear now, Uncle B? What's like about being a broadcaster?
Sorry?
What don't you like about being a broadcaster?
There's nothing I don't like about it. I like everything about being a broadcaster. That question is, Mr. Man, go and reframe that your question. Once I start broadcasting, it will be another 30 years anyway, because I was saying, I don't finish that, I don't go with that too. I will sign up in another 30 years. It's not possible. Hey, broadcasting is my life. I am broadcasting. Man. Wow.
All right.
Have you been watching me on the news recently?
What did you say, sir?
Have you been watching me on the news recently?
No, sir. I was. You're back.
For those who watch, for those who see us on Biscon TV.
Biscon TV. Yes, I've talked about it earlier on. Yeah.
Yes, if you watch at 11 tonight, I'll be on the news.
All right, I'm going to.
I was on the news earlier on today. Just to show the young ones how it's done.
How it's done. I like that. Yes, Uncle B. So, what are some of the common mistakes, or what are the commonest mistakes, that most broadcasters, especially the young ones, make?
Maybe what we should do say is, why do we have those mistakes that are avoidable? Why do we still have them in broadcasting? Like a friend of mine was talking earlier on today, one of the broadcasters, a friend of mine, Osaze Yamu, was calling me from Canada earlier on today. He says the problem we have with most of these new generation broadcasters is that they don't even have the patience to be stars before they start. They become stars. He said they become stars before they start. So you don't even go near them to tell them anything. He said, oh, that's your own time, I beg you. But we keep saying that there's just one way to it. It doesn't change. The rules have been there. We came and met the rules the way they are. And you don't change the rules. You don't change the rules. All they need to do is go to what there's this thing we call, it's like a Bible in broadcasting. If you're in doubt, just check that. It's called the Daniel Jones. And going back to when we started, no matter how much degrees you brought, to FRCN in those days, you still have to be tooled up. You have to be taken to the language laboratory where they washed you up. That way you'll be able to do English the way it's done all over the place. Before you read the news and so on and so forth. So that is missing now. The training aspect is missing. But I thank God that I have some friends who have taken that on themselves to do. Mani Onimon, whom you know very well, great broadcaster, has actually gone ahead to become a lawyer now, but he does a lot of training these days. He trains broadcasters, journalists, and so on and so forth, which is good. And I know that Bimbo Loidi also does the same thing. And they're doing that all over the country, and I think it's good that they're doing that.
I think Sonny also does that.
Certainly. In fact, Sonny was our teacher in those days as far back as 79.
Wow.
I'm sure you know Art Alade's mother.
Yeah, I do.
So Beju Art Alade, she was also a teacher. Then there's a lady, Stella Awani. She's still around in her 80s. She was 82 or so years ago. So these are guys who brushed us up. They're the ones that taught us the way the English speak English.
Wow.
You don't go speaking American English now. The ones that are accepted all over the place is English, the way the English speak it.
Wow.
But we're
Uncle B.
Yeah.
Yes, Uncle Steve Moses is asking a question. So before I take my own question, let's attend to his own. He says I should ask you, how did Uncle B become a polyglot?
What will even shock him? I have told this story many times, but people refuse to agree. They say it's a lie. You know, the Igbo that I speak today, I learned in Kano. Okay, why right on an Indian Kano Igbo. But it got to a point. Can't see any Igbo, but I could. We make it tapia no na beke. Oh man, I confused him so much. I confused the man so much. We get to Igbo. Always say na bia biko gwa me eziokwu. The question no bro Igbo to nne give me all that.
I know Uncle Steve will be laughing wherever he is now.
So what I mean is, I daze this young man so much. He's Igbo, but he just likes the way I go about it. And he was saying to himself, he said, "Come, Bisi, are you sure that did mommy really tell you the truth about you?"
Who your father is?
So to be honest with you, I learned Igbo in Kano. I only got to the East about, I was age 40, 45 before I got to the East at all.
Wow.
So, yes. So it just shows you that it also brings us to this point of the kind of things, the kind of vibes that we're getting in this country now that I don't want to hear. I don't know how we got to this stage. We used to be very closely knit. We were like one in those days. I was watching something that what's his name? Dele Mamono did recently, the Igbo Yoruba Summit, sort of, which was something like on Instagram. I didn't join in time, so I could have contributed. But we had done something earlier on when we marked 50 years of Nigeria Civil War. And I got on stage and I told them, I said, in those days, I come from a Christian family, Baptist denomination, by the way, and we lived in Kano. But we're able to relate very well with Hausas, who, as you know, are predominantly Muslims. When we had Christian festivities, they would come all the way from the hinterland. And when they had, they would also go there. So it was, I mean, I don't know how we got to this stage now that somebody will be saying he's Igbo, this one is Hausa. No, I'm praying to God that we can come a little stronger than this.
Wow, I love
so
that.
That is the kind of experience I had.
Okay.
And I'm hoping that our leaders will also help us come back. Our politicians mostly, because the issue has always been it is the politicians that are dividing us. They use ethno-religious tendencies to put us against ourselves. Once they finish using us, they dump us. So I'm hoping that those who are watching will be able to take a cue from them. I'm a very good example of how Nigeria should be. I'm proudly so.
Wow. All right, Uncle B. Before I take the next question, I want to let Kenny Agoro know that we can feel you. Thanks so much. Delta Express, thanks so much for joining us. Fumi Dara, thanks so much. Pip Studio Wise, thanks so much for joining us. Paul Smiles, thanks so much for joining us. Now, Uncle B, as one of the most detribalized Nigerians that I know, what are the best ways to repair our broken country?
Just yesterday, somebody who's like a daughter to me brought somebody to our home, to introduce our husband to us, actually getting married next week. She's a Lagosian, as they call themselves. But, the gentleman he's getting married to is from Edo State, Oba, Tokmahe. So I went back in time and I said, thank God, these are the kind of things that I want. I'd like to be associated with this because that's the kind of story that excites me. I'm from that kind of, development. I don't know. I mean, I have said it many times jokingly. I say, well, I still have some. It's just only one left now. I have 3 girls. 2 are married already, made me grandfather by 3. One of them got married 15 years ago, another one about 7 years ago, left with 1. So each time when I go to functions as MC, I even say it. I say, I beg you now, make a Igbo man come marry my daughter, or make a Hausa man come marry my daughter. My kids say they will never marry. In fairness, inter-tribal marriage is going to help us a lot. It's going to help rebuild this fence that has all kind of problems now. This fence shouldn't break. And it's a great task that we all have to work towards. In my own little corner here, my little space here, I do everything to talk to those I can talk to, and in the way that I even do things. For instance, here, we have everybody working here. Doesn't matter where you're from. The major important thing is this good enough? Once you're good, you're fine. I like what the Honorable Speaker of the House of Reps did recently. When he was talking about federal character, that we need to really push it forward. We need to expand it. It is too secluded. It's nothing like federal character. We need to expand it and really sit down and know exactly, because that thing is dividing us. Let's put other things in place in such a way that we're wholesome. It's a wholesome document. All the things we need to patch. This is time to patch. Nigeria is a country we must try and work towards. Whatever we need to do is a task we have to do. And I'm happy that the younger ones decided to do that. We do a lot of documentaries here. When we, at the peak of the
Well, I think the network is beginning to fluctuate. Wow. The network is beginning to fluctuate. Yeah.
I said at the beginning of the End Stars protest, we did a documentary, and we said, these young guys have done the right thing, because it was it was very diverse. It was the NSAS protest was put together by Nigerians from all parts of the country. They jettisoned all those fault lines that have kept us in a kind of bondage in the last how many years. The fault lines of ethnicity, of the religion and all that. They all came on on one accord, and they rose up and did the right thing. Unfortunately, we had the unwanted elements that took over and made a mess of it. So we said that that's the kind of thing we hope to leave to these young ones. They're not even allowing us to leave it to them. They've taken the mantle and they're doing the right thing. Because even when they all came together, that we should approach this as Nigeria, which is a good thing. And I'm hoping that the younger ones get with it, I guess. More of that we need from the young ones. Yes.
All right, sir. All right. Now, Uncle B,
yes,
you've
sir.
been into broadcasting now for over 4 decades. What would you say has kept you going?
The love for the job. I can't imagine where I'll be without this job. It is This is my blood, my brother.
All right. I know 00. Thanks so much for joining us. Now, Uncle B, you're also one of the few, in fact, very, very few broadcasters versed in the 3 major Nigerian languages. In what way has your ability to speak these 3 major languages helped your career or advanced your career? Wale CYB, thanks so much for joining us.
Do we have enough time to start talking about this?
I don't need to.
Let's put it this way.
Yeah.
There's no state in Nigeria that I've not visited more than 2, 3, 4 times.
Wow.
And the kind of warmth that I get there. Language is a very big tool. Language is a big tool. I was saying this though. Pastor Shiju Iluyomade and I were discussing just some 2 hours ago. And I was saying to her that there's a lot of power in language. She was applauding me and thanking me and praising me. I said, thank God for that. And with that, I hardly knock doors wherever I go. You need to see the kind of love. Okay, the question was this. She was saying that she also applauded the young ones who did this NSAS protest, and she took the very good side of it and said it was bad that you allowed, what do you call that, hoodlums to infiltrate their ranks, and they made a mess of it. But she said that, I was saying to her that the problem we have is not that we don't love ourselves, we do. And the example of the NSAS thing was tell you that we love ourselves. They came together from everywhere. But it's the politicians that we should lock the doors against the politicians, who are the ones that use all kinds of things to just divide us. And I mean, like somebody also said, even these hoodlums that have come to begin to attack everybody now, they're the ones they used and dumped during the election. And they have nothing to do. Unfortunately, they're the ones, they're the ones who have armed them with the same armory that you give them, the same thing that they're, you can imagine what we're saying. Nigerians love themselves. Coming back to your question about me and my moves around the country, there's nowhere I've not been more than 1 time. And a lot of love because of the language. This language is something else. Once you speak the language to them, oh God. They take you. That's the thing. That's the thing. And but I'm hoping that whatever the rough edges are, let us try and adjust and come back to the same table.
I love that.
Nigeria is one. We cannot but be one.
I love
That's
that.
the way our founding fathers were very happy with us, wherever they are. Because they still continue to stand in for us. Yes.
Yes. Uncle B, right now, currently, you speak the three major Nigerian languages, and that's talking about Igbo, Hausa, and Yoruba. Is there any other Nigerian language that you would have loved to be able to speak? You know that sometimes you feel, oh, how I wish I can add this one to the three major ones that I can speak. Does that happen at times?
Let me tell you this. Maybe I will say it jokingly. Because I consider the pidgin language the one that I used to sort out the South and the rest of it. That are not part of the major ones. And what I say to them is this: I say the problem you guys have is that, like Benin, like Edo State, for instance, from one place to the other, language only 10. You know, I say you are not. If you were like a block in a block like the Igbos and so on, we'll be able to just pick one, take one to cover all of us. Now make I take you. Now make I take you to just cover all of it. Yeah, but my younger brother is the one who is making some waves when it comes to international languages. He speaks French and I think another language, but French. That's not his first degree. He did. I've forgotten what he did, but the second degree is French. He's in Canada as we speak, and he's done a great job in that. If you say that, if you say this language thing is in the family, you may not be too wrong.
It's in the blood.
In the blood, bro.
All right, Uncle B. Now, currently you run Discom Communications. I need you to tell us about Discom Communications.
All right. What we decided to do with the Discom Communications is the mother of the Bisi Olatilo show.
Yes, we'll come to that.
And the Biscom television. So that is all. We started with Biscom Communications, but we have subsidiaries like the BOS and of course Biscom TV. Well, BOS, is just 1 hour. It's still running for 1 hour. This is for 21st year. It's been doing that regularly on platforms locally, internationally. So when I said, how do we expand this, since the NBC has refused for now to give us a deal in terms of the license we think we should have been given a long time ago. We're still praying to have it. It's okay. BOS, we choke a lot of things into the BOS. We do sports in it, we do documentaries in it, just name it, we do all kinds of things. Apart from the fact that we cover events all over the place. When I said, okay, let's look for a platform that can give us the opportunity of expanding all of this, expanding the scope, and we'll be able to have a lot of time to really put in the very best in different areas. So when DSTV, they're the ones that own Go TV, came calling, we grabbed with both arms to say, well, let's start with it. And this is about 2.5 years now that we've been running Biscom Communications, so Biscom Television. It's a 24-hour platform on Go TV 108. We have an app. If you go to whichever phone you're using, if you go to the, what you call it now, and type Biscom TV, the Apple Store, yes, you type Biscom TV, you can get us there 24 hours. We actually also stream live. But as I said, it's a 24-hour platform. We do news on it, we do sports on it, we do movies on it. If I will read news 5 times a day, I have read 2 today. The younger girl who also reads with me has read 2. I'll be finishing with the last one for today at 11. And what else do we do? We have early morning broadcast, breakfast show, which is called Biscom Breakfast Bubble. And there's also Biscom TV Live. That one is where we have 3 women who take things that are to do with women. For instance, things that have to do with the daily living. It draws a lot of attention of women to that one. And then we also have a quiz. We have talent hunt. It's just what you see on a 24-hour platform is what we have on Biscom TV.
Wow.
And we're trying to train the younger ones. Most of the ones that come here We try to train them, and we're happy that they're doing well. Today, for instance, the IG was in town, and we went with him throughout. Our crew, the Biscon TV crew, went, the different places with him. The IG touched they touched about Lagos Palace. He touched the touched. Hope you follow what I'm saying.
I can hear you.
Touched, Touche.
I know.
Palace, Touche. And then he also went to see, the police stations that were burnt and all that, destroyed, and the rest of it. Ended with a visit to those in the hospital, and he was also with the Lagos State Governor, and he went to commiserate with him. And the Lagos State Governor also said, "Well, we're commiserating with each other. You also lost personnel, but we're going to do some, give you some scholarships to the children of those who died in the NSAS protest and so on." So we have a special report on that. So we do a lot of that. Just yesterday here, we did a special report on the 2020 U.S. presidential election. And we're also wrapping it up tomorrow. So we do quite a lot of things on Biscon TV. Much more than just events that a lot of people think it's all about events. So it's much more than events now.
All right. Now, Uncle B, the social, diary program which you created, and that's talking about the Bisi Olatilo, the very, very popular Bisi Olatilo show. I need you to tell us about it and also what prompted DOS.
Well done. Thank you very much. I must thank you. You are one of those who helped us to give a structure to the 20th anniversary celebration, which happened last year. And we quite a lot of stories about how I came about it. Well, it was all over the place. But I mean, for this special platform, we can go about it again. How did I start it? I kept talking about a friend of mine, Eddie Messi, if you remember. We used to have the BOS. We started with AIT. It was a live show then. Even before then, really. I was still on Radio Nigeria, with Radio Nigeria at the time. And, we do quite a lot of MC jobs and all that. I was almost like the top, the top of the league then. And so my friend said to me, "BC, all the events that we see here, you are the one that they asked to anchor it, to compare it. So why don't you try and just do something like a social diary and start up there?" That was a dear Messi who suggested that to me. And quickly, I just thought about it and I ran with it. So that was how BOS started. And we started with a 15-minute, like a social diary thing. All the events we go to cover, I go to cover. He said, "Get somebody to go with you with a camera and just do something like that on a regular basis." We must thank Chief Raymond Dorkwesi, who gave us something like a lifeline then. Well, nobody gave us a chance, but he said no. He sees a lot of potential in this. And that was how it started. And we say the rest is history before it now took over the whole place.
I like
but
that.
That's like the monster seed. That's how he started, and it grew. And we thank God for it now.
I love
brand, that. The world has come to recognize and admire and embrace. And I'd like to thank the likes of you for the support you're giving us.
Thank you,
and all those who have also come our ways with a lot of what do you call that now?
Advert support and patronage.
And those who actually invite us to cover events for them. But that Zoom was trying to take our own portion. This Zoom made this Zoom come off for road, make our pass. But I'm happy that we're back now. Zoom can go and rest now. Zoom is not our own style, I beg.
Yes, so
because Nigerians want the actuality.
Yeah, they want to have the feel of the parties. Yes, Uncle B. Yes. What's your dream for Biscon and the the Bisi Olatilo show. What are your dreams, for both, programs or both entities?
To be honest with you, is to have my television license. And what we've decided to do now as I speak is on the table of NBC now. We want a television license, a national television license, through which we can reach the whole world through Nigeria, and a stereo station, stereo FM. That one will be broadcasted from Port Harcourt. I did that. I did a lot of research on it, and I decided that let's operate from Port Harcourt for the radio station. So that's what I've decided to do. But BOS will still continue to be what it is.
Okay. Yes, you said you want the radio station to operate from Port Harcourt. Why Port Harcourt, sir? Why not Lagos?
It is strategic reasoning. They say Lagos they don't have any more space for that, oversaturated that thing. So we decided to go for Port Harcourt. And why did you go for Port Harcourt? Port Harcourt people listen to radio quite a lot.
Wow.
Whereas it's only Lagos that can match Port Harcourt when it comes to that. The other alternative I would have had, that somebody asked me to give a thought to, was to take it to Osun State. I said, well, I love my state quite all right, but how about the money?
The businessman is always looking at figures.
Because the truth of the matter is that there's quite a lot going on in Port Harcourt. For instance, I might be in Port Harcourt on Friday, to rejoice with my friend, a former Deputy Speaker, House of Representatives, Austin Opara, who lost the mother at 96. So that one like jolly. What I'm saying is that I'm very well known in that area, and we're talking of the Port Harcourt, so Bayelsa, so Delta. You know what I'm saying? We've laid a solid foundation that we want to be able to at least reap the fruits of the labor we have, the foundation we have laid there. That we can do through the radio station. Because I love the TV from Lagos, so we can join all of that together. So we'll be able to get that.
Wow. I love that.
BOS is the ultimate. No matter what you say,
no matter what you say,
BOS. You can imagine BOS that we broadcast BOS as late as 11 on a Monday, for that matter, a working day. And people still stayed there. They would call me after 12 to tell me what to stop.
I'm one of your biggest fans.
I know. Let me use this. Another fan of our mutual friend is Mrs. Nick Akonde. Wow, that one is just long. Well, she tells me that well, anytime it's getting towards 11 and all, and she's feeling like to sleep, she will just begin to. He said, "Mama, you're fanda." He said she'll be taking a walk. She will go up and down, not to sleep. Okay, go ahead.
I
was going to say that even Dr. Shiju Iluyomade, who did fantastic thing recently, Pastor Shiju Iluyomade. We were discussing earlier on today, we covered that show and we aired it as part of the package of BOS of yesterday. Just say thank you. She now said she has been admiring BOS since her days in the UK. That's the only program she was watching on Ben TV.
Wow.
That was the first time we were getting to talk to each other.
Wow.
And you can count them on your fingertips. A lot of them like that.
I do. Uncle B, we're going to take 2 more questions. But before we do that, I will need to crave your indulgence to recognize some people who just joined us. Stephanie Frank, thanks so much for joining us. Mr. Wealth, 25, thanks so much for joining us. Olayinka Dairo, thanks so much for joining us. Ralph Atta, thanks so much. Mr. Steve Mosu, thanks so much. Edith Azwarinze, thanks so much. The Sodas, thanks so much for joining us. Wale CYB, thanks so much for joining us. Dele Balogu, thanks so much for joining us. Positive Africa Media, thanks so much. Paul Smiles, thanks so much. Pip Studio Wise, thanks so much. Fumidara, thanks so much. Kenya Guru, thanks so much. Real Etomi Onyema, thanks so much. Akimbule Folake, thanks so much. Arasbi Baby, thanks so much. Yeye Oluwatosi, thanks so much. Hezekiah Daniel, thanks so much. Primrose Dada, thanks so much. Ajayi Ayodotu, thanks so much. All the wonderful people who have joined us, we are very, very grateful. Uncle B, now the final question. I mean, having come this...
I thought you said you had 2 questions.
The time is no longer our friend, Uncle B, but let's see how it goes. Let me take this one first. What would you say has been the greatest lesson that life has taught you?
My brother, is to believe in God.
Wow.
To have an unshakable belief in God, that once you believe in Him, it took us out no beginner to put no. If any man, what I'm saying is that once you believe in God, because let me tell you something. I'm a testimony here. This premises, my studio here that you're talking to me from, has got burned twice. Not just getting burned, it raised it to debris, to rubbles. We couldn't take anything out of there. So we've had to rebuild this place 2 times.
Wow.
How many people have been able to go through that and still standing?
Yeah.
So I said to everybody, I said, nobody will God to love reach me. Now me number 1. No, God love me too much. And that's why I pray to God. I go to church to thank Him. And I can't thank God enough. God has just been wonderful in my life. I'm talking about a whole establishment that got everything raised to rubble twice, and yet you came back.
Wow.
Who is you? So God, I mean, the life has taught me that once you have undivided belief in God, something I'm very dogged about it. He has a way of paying you back. That's what God has done to me. Because how could you have been able to bounce back after those 2 fatal accidents? Yes,
Wow.
so to speak.
Wow.
Thank God. Each time I look at it, nobody will God love reach me.
Yeah, you know
Definitely.
what Uncle B just said in Igbo, I just asked that he also repeats the same thing in Hausa and Yoruba, so that everybody will
balance here now.
so that can balance the program.
So na fito da hulata nema Allah ubangiji gaisuwa domin abubuwan da ya mana a wannan gidan aiki ma nan wurin. So biyu abin wannan duk ko ina ya kone malin man ga Allah ya mai da shi kaman sabuwa ma ke sa na ce so in cire ma Allah ubangiji hula mai godiya ke sa na cire hulana. No, she feel like Ọlọ́run tí Ọlọ́run ṣe fún mi. Gẹ́gẹ́ mo yẹ bí méjì ní àwọn ọ̀tá ti wá pàtó Ọlọ́run bá fìyàn lẹ̀ kò sí dọ́tà lè ṣe láti ẹ̀ lọ tàbí tọ́lọ́run wà gan. Mo dúdú fìlà mi láì kẹ́sí oje. Ó ti rẹ̀ talk with time say I dey comot this cap to take it thank God say God na your hand I dey. In fact na you love me pass.
Yes, so.
Make God. This is our God, though. Somebody said God dey power. I said my own. God build us duplex inside this environment. Oh, where you go? God good idiot. God, this is a God surrounded environment. God surrounded environment. Thank you very much
for your time, for your thoughts, and everything. We are very, very grateful, and all those who joined us this night, we are very, very grateful. Thanks so much. Thanks so much. Uncle B, may the Lord continue to keep you for us. Thanks so much. It's always a pleasure having you around, discussing with you. And I mean, let me also put this on record. You have been extraordinarily nice to me, and my prayer is that God will continue to be extraordinarily nice to you. You've shown me immense and immeasurable love. I can't even quantify it. It's been so humongous. It's been so incredible. It's been so. I lack words, to capture. To capture how nice you have been to me. You've been a father to me, Uncle B. Thanks so much. Thanks so much. Thanks so much. Thanks. I regards to mommy and the children and everybody. Thanks so much. Thanks. We'll do it again. Thank you so much. And we're going to do it again, hopefully on Friday. Yeah, my wife is saying thanks so much, Uncle B. He says God bless you. Thank you. Thanks so much. Thanks so much. Thanks a lot. Thanks so much. Thanks so much. Thanks so much, Uncle B. Good night, everyone. Thanks so much. Thanks so much. Thanks so much. Thanks so much. Wow.